Influence to artificially inflate this piece of art that I just paid because I discovered this artist, so I only had to pay a little bit of money. Now all of a sudden, because I think so, now it's worth a lot. So other people like VIPs are going to come to the place. They're going to say, wow, they're going to give me some more influence. Collectors will buy the thing, then someone's going to take off, and then I try to sell at the international market. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Justin.
And Max Games.
And today we're going to be doing a review of
The Gallerist.
The Gallerist is a game by Vital Lacerda, and the art is Ian O'Toole. We have a number of games by Vital Lacerda, Lisboa, Kanban, and we've always liked all of them. And this one was picked up by my wife when she did a Kickstarter for another one of his games called On Mars, and then she bought this one at the same time, and we've had it for a little bit, but we finally got it to the table, and I liked it.
Me too.
And we both lost pretty badly.
Yeah. So my final score was 91.
I was 92.
And Mom had 150.
And I know. And she really, oh my God, she drives me crazy with this. Like during a game, you know what she does. She's like, oh, I'm terrible at this game. Look at this. I have $1.50. And meanwhile, we have like, $20. Oh, and then it gets back down to her. She's like, oh, I can never do these economic games. And what happens?
Wins by 60 points.
Exactly. She was like, oh, here I go. She had her whole gallery filled. She had 2 masterpieces. She had 3 paintings sold.
All of her sold, and all of the paintings sold, and all in her gallery matched with her cards.
Right, and that's a big part of the game is you get these.
She got like $30 from her bonus cards.
I know you get these bonus cards, and this is when I've been seeing this more and more every time we play a Lacerda game like Lisboa. During the game, you acquire end game bonuses, so you kind of direct your strategy in a lot of different ways to kind of match those bonuses. And in this game, you also start with a couple of cards, which give you points for things that are in your
gallery.
In your gallery
at the end of the game.
At the end of the game, and also things that you've purchased that are to the side. They have these really neat little easels, I guess. I guess it's an easel. And the easels will have, depending on how many players are playing, some paintings that are going to be auctioned off at the end. But it's not an auction in the normal sense. It's just what you've done during the game will determine who gets the painting. You don't get any money for the painting, which kind of sucked for me because I won the auction and the painting did nothing for me. It didn't match one of my cards. I didn't get any money from it.
And you spent $6.
Yeah, it was a big waste of time for me. So I basically lost points by doing that. I really like the ideas that are in this game about hiring assistants and going. But here's the real gist of this. It's a humorous game.
That is true.
And the funniest part about this is that this is something that you get in Lacerda games that you don't get in a lot of other games, which is commentary subtly put into the game based upon what I believe he feels about a certain subject. Some of them teach you things like Lisboa does, but in this game, it kind of almost makes fun of the contemporary art market. Like when you hear that, oh, this painting sold for $240 million, and this one, 190, whatever the prices are. This artificial inflation. There's a spot on the board where you basically go and you artificially inflate how much you think an artist's value is.
Which could possibly increase the art that you currently have.
Right, so you can kind of, in the game book, in the instructions, which are excellent, the instructions are excellent, it even says, like, it's a marriage between capitalism and art. And it's an interesting commentary on this, which is that some things which, it's almost arbitrary. This one, it could be by the red painter.
Which would be $17.
Or it could be by the blue painter.
$4.
Or you could try to artificially inflate it. that to me is a really clever, and the way you try to undercut other people, it makes this whole idea of what the value is in art a real question. Brilliant. And then going to the international markets to try to influence the value of things. The idea of a masterpiece that just is something that's inflated. I actually teach an art class. I'm a composer, but I also teach a class on the arts in a college. And one of the topics we talk about is how certain artists are valued higher, why certain names are known and certain other names just kind of go by the wayside. It's a very interesting topic, and I think I'll have to teach my students this game based upon this. So what did you feel about the mechanics of the game?
The mechanics were very interesting because there's only 4 action spots you can do. And it's like, if I do this action, I do it, then one of 2 things could possibly happen. One, someone else goes there, and I get bumped off back to my gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if no one bumps me off and it gets back to me, I could leave a worker behind, which then could possibly allow me to do that action for a cost later when it gets bumped.
Right, so that you could spend some influence. And I think, there's very limited things that you can do. Each spot, as you said, gives you only 2 actions. But if you plan carefully and you anticipate what other people don't necessarily want to do, you could leave one of your workers behind, and when they finally do that action, then you gain a benefit as well. That's a very, very clever idea. Did you like the art on the
The art
tiles?
was very interesting because it's funny because when you buy it, it just looks like the picture of the art, and then when you put it in your gallery, it's hung on a wall with like people looking at it.
Exactly. And when you say, here's the real cool thematic thing about this game, is that let's say I have somebody in my gallery, and then I have a painting in my gallery, and then, or 2 paintings as that may be, and then I decide, well, for me it's going to be valuable. I need dough, I need cash to be able to buy more things or to be able to influence some people. So maybe I will go, and I'll go to this space, bump Max off, and then he'll get to do something later. But then I'll sell the painting. Well, if I sell a painting, then people don't want to be in my gallery anymore, and then they just say, well, you don't have as much stuff anymore, and then they leave. I think that's really how that makes a lot of sense. The use of, you get, basically, can you grab a couple of the other guys? So you can get these tickets to kind of
encourage
the
different colored meeples to come to your gallery or your entrance.
Right, the lobby they call it, I think. So you can get these pink people, which are the VIPs, and
they'll give you more influence.
They give you influence. It's totally funny. You invite a star over to your gallery, then the media sees that star is interested in this particular painting, and all of a sudden the value goes up and you have more influence over the markets. So funny and so clever. The brown guys...
They're investors.
So
they'll help you get additional money.
Exactly. So they want to invest in what your ideas are. And then finally the white...
They are more rare.
Mm-hmm. They're the rarest.
There's less, and they will help get a little bit of influence and a little bit of cash.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the collectors.
Yep.
So they are the ones who will probably leave when you sell paintings.
Yeah, you can, and depending on who you just decide to allow to leave.
And the more paintings you sell,
mm-hmm.
the more collectors you could have.
Exactly. If you show that you're selling a lot of things, more collectors
will want to come to you.
But you need a contract if you want to sell something.
Which will give you a bonus, 2 bonuses, but and you have to pick on the backside whether you want more influence or more cash.
Right. Everything, to me, this game is like this or that. You either do this action or this action. You either send this guy out or this one out. Each place gives you more or less 2 things that you can do. And of course you have to hire people in your back room.
You only have 4 slots on your board.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's people out there and you hire up to 4 and then now all of a sudden they come back, they're unemployed.
They're unemployed? That's funny.
So they just go out of the game.
I know. These poor guys that you hire for $2 or whatever,
and
they might end up
They go out, come back, realize it's full, and then they get fired.
I do like the... everyone raves about Ian O'Toole, the artist. Now he did a couple of the pictures on the tiles themselves, the art that you hang, but the company or the designer or whatever commissioned real artists and friends and stuff to make these tiles. So everything is very individualistic looking. And I was saying that the artist for the game, the graphic layout, the imagery and all, it's not overdone. It doesn't crowd the board. Everything is very clear. It doesn't overwhelm you. And in fact, that works well because the real attraction should be
The art.
the art itself. A little funny side note, I'm a painter myself. I think in the expansion to this game, there should be a Max and Justin gallery that holds only my art in it. But to be honest, this is one of the things why I like this game was it keys into something that I enjoy. And that's with all of, it's funny, Max has grown up with all of my paintings around the house. And usually what do you do with them, with your Nerf stuff?
Targets.
She uses them as target practice.
Nerf targets. Because there's a couple of concentric ones.
Right.
That each layer is more accurate.
So he uses them as target practice. So I guess his valuation is not very high. In fact, that's something in the game. You can...
Shoot Nerf darts at them?
No, you can't shoot Nerf darts at them. But you can, again, artificially improve things by giving it sort of a thumbs up.
But you have to spend influence to do so.
You have to spend your influence to do so. Max thought it would be cool also in the game maybe you can criticize a piece of art and give it a thumbs down. But overall, I'm really happy with the game. It's like and I was saying before, it's like all of Vital Lacerda's games. Everything is intertwined, interconnected. They all work smoothly, perfectly. They give you a lot of thinking. There's a lot of rules, but did it seem very heavy to you?
It seemed like kind of a little heavy to learn. But once you understood the game, it kind of just went smoothly.
Yeah, that's what I felt, and that's the same thing with all of his games. Once you understand
the iconography.
The iconography, yes.
But then it's really confusing at the beginning. But once you understand, you're easy.
Exactly.
Because all of the iconography is the same throughout the game.
Yes, so
it's very consistent.
Very consistent iconography, and they give you this really handy-dandy player aids, so that on one side of them has all the icons.
Show all the icons, and the other side tells you what each action does.
And even the steps. I wish every game did this, because we have...
Like, you do this, step 1. Optional, you can do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this.
So it almost teaches you how to play the game just through...
Like, you could have this and not read the rule book, and you'd mostly be fine.
I think so. If only all games... We have like 300 some odd games. And some of them I like, oh, I love this game so much. And then I take it out of the box, and then I look at the thing, and I'm like, I don't remember anything I'm supposed to do. I love this game, but I don't remember anything. This one, I think, like, if I put this game away and I brought it out, I'd be like, yeah, that's what you do. Anyway.
It's a great game.
It's a great game. I'm right around at 8.5 on it. I don't know why I wouldn't be higher. It's a very, very fun game. It's very interesting. I wasn't overwhelmingly thrilled by it, but it's engaging enough. Like, I didn't even pay attention, like, how much Mom had and how much you had.
Yeah, there wasn't very much interaction between players, other than using tickets to take people out of the lobby, but that only happened once.
Yeah, because mostly if you're spending tickets, it's mostly to get people from...
either your lobby or the...
Right, you're not worried so much about everyone else. And yeah, I'm a little bit...
this area was a little underused.
A little bit underused, yeah, and I, of course...
And also, I wish these were used more.
I know, the easels are so cool.
Like, they should have more, and, like, each of these spaces should be an easel.
That's in the Super Deluxe version. And I guess you are looking at what other people, like, because you have these little signature tokens, so you could see what paintings are owned by whom, or what artwork, sculptures, whatever. And I'm not...
And another funny thing...
I don't know, I'm not thinking about it too much about what other people own.
Another funny thing is that, let's say, both painting artists have the exact same signature.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's another little layer of...
Just one is worth 3 times as much.
Yes, these little subtle ingredients. It's like in Lisboa, even where the drawings of the 3 main characters are placed, it shows their relationship. Like the one that wasn't a big fan of the church, he's actually drawn furthest away from the church. Things like that really add to, sort of this little undertone. You don't need to, like, think of that when you're playing the game, but I just kept on stopping and I was like, that's so funny. I just spent influence to artificially inflate this piece of art that I just paid because I discovered this artist, so I only had to pay a little bit of money. Now all of a sudden, because I think so, now it's worth a lot. So other people like VIPs are going to come to the place. They're going to say, wow, they're going to give me some more influence. Collectors will buy the thing, then someone's going to take off, and then I try to sell at the international market.
Wow. Okay. So you were an 8.5.
I'm an 8.5.
I'm also an 8.5.
He's in there. Has this happened before?
I think only a couple times.
Have we had the exact same
8.51.
rating?
No.
8.51. So we're at an 8.5 on the game. Oop, where is it? 8.5 on the game.
The Gallerist. Ah!